Today's story is going to disturb you. I'm telling you that right up front. It's not for the squeamish, because it's about a man considered to be the world's worst animal abuser. And though it contains no graphic photos or violent language, it still might make you cry. But hang in if you can, because when I tell you at the end how this evil man was caught, identified by something he left on one of the animals he hurt, it might just renew your hope in justice. On the morning of April 21st, 2022, Erin was ushered into the office of her husband's lawyer. The former wildlife ranger and biologist had been out of town with a work team for the past couple of weeks when she'd been contacted and told that their home and crocodile compound had been raided and her husband arrested. Over the next couple of hours, she sat in shock as the charges against him were revealed. Now you have to understand, up until this moment in her life, Erin Britton, wife of business partner and renowned zoologist Adam Britton, had felt that their life had been almost magical. They'd been happily married for 15 years. They co-owned a crocodile sanctuary and consultancy located in a beautiful area just outside of Darwin, Australia. Together they'd appeared in and produced numerous celebrated documentaries for the BBC and National Geographic. They were colleagues and friends of the famous biologist Sir David Attenborough. And in 2015, Erin had even worked with saltwater crocodiles alongside Prince Harry when he'd visited their home. So she had absolutely no idea of the secret, twisted, sick life her husband had been living for the past number of years. Hello. For as long as I can remember, I've been fascinated by weird events that seem impossible but are true. And that's what this channel is all about. Bringing strange, unbelievable stories to you once a week. So if you're a fan of the mysterious, the inexplicable, the unbelievable, but true, subscribe, give me a like, hit the notification button, and I promise, with every new video, I'll do my best to keep blowing your mind. Erin's husband had been charged with the crimes of animal cruelty and bestiality. Her mind immediately went blank. It couldn't handle what she was hearing. Later she stated, "When she told me bestiality, my brain was in denial. No, hearing that information is the most awful thing you could ever hear about your partner. It was so shocking and I felt sick. I couldn't speak. My brain was having trouble processing and understanding how such a horrible thing could even exist in this world." You gotta remember, this was her husband they were talking about. And then, his lawyer told her that the police had shown her screenshots and still images of her husband that they already had in their possession. So there was no doubt that Britton was guilty. And really, other than finishing the investigation to learn as much as possible about the crimes he committed, it was just a matter of time before they held his trial and locked him away for as long as they could. Zoologist Adam Britton's crimes and depravity only came to light after a 15-minute video had been sent anonymously to authorities. In it, he was naked and had intentionally blurred his face as he was torturing and sexually abusing a female dog and her 8 puppies in the bushes on his property. And only after an incredible breakthrough, which I promise to reveal at the end of this video, were police able to not only learn who he was, but to also be able to find hundreds of other images and videos he'd uploaded to the dark web under the username Monster and Cerberus. Now, to give you a better idea of just how sick Britton is, Cerberus is the name in Greek mythology of the 3-headed hound of hell, a massive, terrifying beast they believe to be the guardian of the gates of hell, preventing the dead from leaving. And under this alias, Adam had uploaded hundreds of videos of himself committing acts of depravity and bestiality to animals through streaming channels to like-minded individuals and communities he'd found online. So right away, police learned this wasn't a local issue. It opened many doors that led investigators into numerous crimes being committed worldwide, ultimately leading to the arrest and identities of other perverted individuals, some of which are still ongoing to this day. You see, Adam, they soon learned, had first displayed and felt an unusual interest in animals when he was 6, and as time passed, these feelings had continued to grow and manifest until by 2014, he no longer tried to contain them. In fact, online, in one of the most sickening messages he'd ever posted, he bragged, I love to hurt dogs. I live for it. I can't stop myself from hurting dogs. And then, in 2020, his depravity escalated to an entirely different level. By this time, though he and Erin still lived in the same home, their relationship had begun to change. Adam had become sullen and withdrawn, and had begun sleeping in a separate bedroom. The two were no longer romantic. But as Erin told investigators, they still loved each other. Their relationship had just changed to two very good friends who were business partners, and enjoying their studies in fields they both loved. Detective Sergeant Cronin, head of the Northern Territory Federal Police and Joint Anti-Child Exploitation Team, believes Britton's worst offenses began to occur when Erin was away on expeditions, in her capacity as a wildlife specialist. He said, "There was certainly nothing uncovered during our investigation that suggests she had anything to do with it or, knew anything about it. I think if anything, it was probably quite the opposite. Steps were taken to make sure she was kept unaware." Beginning in November of 2020, Adam began obtaining dogs from online classified ads. He would respond pretending to offer loving care to pets who required rehoming, when in reality, he was a sadist who, after sexually abusing them, would torture them to death. Sergeant Cronin said he did this using a variety of weapons, including knives, tools, wooden objects, saws, fish hooks, pretty much anything you can imagine, and many more things you can't. And he filmed everything on multiple cameras positioned around their property before uploading them to his deviant fan base. And then, the remains of the animals he killed, he kept in a freezer until he could feed them to the crocodiles the couple kept in their sanctuary. Adam, it was determined, suffered from extreme zoophilia and zoosadism. In other words, he derived intense sexual pleasure raping, torturing, and killing dogs. In 2023, he pled guilty to 63 offenses, including killing over 40 dogs. He also pleaded guilty to the possession and transmission of child exploitation material, though authorities have never been able to find any evidence of him sexually abusing or harming children. As he sat in his prison cell awaiting sentencing, Adam wrote continuously to his wife, letters which offered extraordinary insight into his twisted mind. Completely ignoring the crimes he committed, he continuously asked her to send him non-fiction books about dog domestication and breeds. "He's a psychopath," Erin said. "He doesn't have any consciousness of what is right or wrong. I feel like I've lost so much of my life, and I feel like I've been completely duped. And I'm angry and upset, and there's nothing I could have done. It's very disturbing." Adam was sentenced to 10 years and 5 months in prison, the maximum amount allowed under the then current law. Since then, the laws have been changed and made much stronger. Erin immediately divorced her husband, changed her last name, went on a 6-month safari, and moved from Australia. And the clue that resulted in Adam's capture? Remember the video an appalled anonymous viewer sent to authorities? The one they happened to come across on the internet, where Britton was abusing and torturing the female dog and her 8 puppies? Well, attached to that dog's collar was an orange leash, and on that leash, police were able to read the Darwin City Council slogan, "Great pets start with you."